Do you have that one item? You know the one. It's taking up space, it's collecting dust, but every time you go to donate it, you feel a sharp pang of guilt, like you're throwing away a piece of your own story. Today, I'm going to show you why you don't have to say goodbye yet. We're using the everything else box. For those of us over 65, our homes aren't just buildings, they're archives. But when the archive gets too full, it stops being a home and starts being a burden. Many of you have told me that letting go feels like a moral failure. It's not. It's just a lack of a middle ground. I want to tell you about Dorothy. Dorothy is 74 years old, and she lives in a lovely house in Ohio that she's owned for 41 years. She raised 3 children in that house, buried a husband, and outlasted 2 dogs and a cat named Biscuit. She called me because she couldn't walk through her dining room anymore. Not because she was a hoarder. Dorothy was one of the cleanest women I'd ever met. But every surface held something that meant something. A ceramic rooster her mother brought back from a trip to Mexico in 1978. A stack of Reader's Digests from the 90s that her late husband used to read at breakfast. A set of curtains still in the packaging, bought for a renovation that never happened. Dorothy didn't have a clutter problem. Dorothy had a grief problem wearing the costume of a clutter problem. And that is far more common than any of us want to admit. Here is the truth that nobody in the organizing world wants to say out loud. The standard advice, if you haven't used it in a year, donate it, was written for people who are 32 years old and moving into their second apartment. It was not written for a woman who spent 50 years building a life inside 4 walls. It was not written for someone whose memories are embedded in objects, the way roots are embedded in soil. You cannot just yank them out. You have to give them time to loosen first. The everything else box is your grace period. When you find an item that doesn't have a home, but your heart isn't ready to let it go, don't force the decision. Put it in here. This box isn't a junk drawer. It's a safe harbor. You're telling yourself, I'm keeping this safe, just not on my kitchen counter. You can use a simple, clean plastic bin or a nice wicker basket if you want something that feels more like you. Label it clearly, everything else, right on the front. Put it somewhere accessible, like a guest closet shelf or the corner of a bedroom, and then let it do its quiet work. I want to tell you about Marguerite. Marguerite is 69 and recently retired from teaching 4th grade for 34 years. When she retired, she brought home 2 boxes of items from her classroom, little gifts from students over the decades, a painted rock that said best teacher in a child's handwriting, a laminated card with a drawing of a sunflower and the words, I love you, Mrs. M, written in purple crayon. Marguerite told me she couldn't throw any of it away because she felt like she would be erasing those children, like their love for her would be in a landfill somewhere. She sat those 2 boxes on her dining room table when she got home, and they sat there for 8 months. Every time she tried to sort through them, she ended up crying and closing the lids. Her daughter suggested she try the everything else box. Marguerite put everything into one clean basket, taped a date on the side, slid it to the top shelf of her whole closet, and went on with her life. 6 months later, she opened it. She kept the painted rock and 3 cards. Everything else, she photographed, made a little album, and donated. She told me later, it felt like I had already said goodbye without knowing it. That is exactly how this works. The rule of 6 months. Here is the viral secret to making this work. Tape a date on the side of the box for 6 months from today. Not a year, not someday. 6 months. A specific written date. If you haven't opened that box to look for that item in half a year, your brain has officially uncoupled the memory from the object. You'll find that when you finally do donate it, the guilt is gone. The memory stayed, but the clutter left. This is not a trick. This is actually how human memory works. When we give ourselves permission not to decide, the emotional charge around an object slowly drains away. Neuroscientists call this process emotional extinction, but our grandmothers just called it time. I want to tell you about Ruth. Ruth is 81, and she was a seamstress for most of her adult life. Her sewing room, a small bedroom converted over decades, held fabric she had collected since the 1960s. Bolts of it, bags of it, notions, patterns, spools of thread in every color you can imagine. Her granddaughter gently suggested they might need to start clearing some of it. Ruth refused, not because she was being stubborn, but because every piece of fabric in that room had a story. The yellow gingham was left over from the Easter dress she made her daughter in 1971. The heavy green wool came from a coat she altered for a neighbor woman who had since passed. The room wasn't fabric, it was a record. We started with one everything else box for Ruth, then 2, then 3. Over the course of a year, she slowly opened each one on her own timeline. She kept what she needed. She donated the rest to a local theater group that was thrilled to have it. And when the room was finally cleared, Ruth sat in the center of it and said, "I thought it would feel like losing something. It feels like finishing something." The Grandma Wisdom Bridge. Remember, our mothers and grandmothers didn't have half the stuff we do, but they had twice the peace. They lived in smaller houses, they owned less, and somehow they seemed to carry more dignity in their daily lives. By using the everything else box, you're honoring that tradition of a simple, restful home without the trauma of a purge. You're not betraying your memories. You're trusting them enough to let them live in you instead of on your countertops. A memory that is real does not require an object to survive. Your mother's love for you did not live in her china cabinet. It lived in you. The cabinet is just the cabinet. I want to tell you about Evelyn. Evelyn is 77, and she has been widowed for 6 years. Her husband Gerald was a collector. Coins, baseball cards, old tools, vintage radios. After he passed, Evelyn could not move a single thing. Every object in his study felt sacred. She closed the door and left it exactly as it was for 2 years. Her son worried about her. Her friends suggested grief counseling. But what Evelyn needed wasn't therapy. She needed permission. Permission to move at her own pace. Permission to not be over it on anyone else's schedule. When she finally felt ready, she used the everything else box not for decluttering, but for sorting. She moved one shelf at a time into the box. She took weeks between each opening. She gave the baseball cards to a grandson who had no idea his grandfather had them. She sold the coin collection and used the money to plant a garden. She kept 2 of the vintage radios, one in the kitchen where she can hear it while she cooks, and one beside her bed. She told me, Gerald would have liked knowing the stuff went somewhere it was wanted. That is the whole point. You are not too old to change your space. You are not too sentimental to let things go. And you are absolutely not a failure because a box of your husband's tools makes you cry. You are a person with a real and full life. You deserve a home that reflects that. Peaceful, manageable, and still completely yours. Start with one box. Label it, tape today's date plus 6 months on the side, and begin. What is the one item you've been holding on to for years? Tell me in the comments. Let's talk about it. Because you are not alone in this, and your story matters. If you found this helpful, subscribe to Silver Life Hacks for more ways to make your golden years your most peaceful years.